All right, good morning. So it is Wednesday, February 22nd, and it is time for our daily devotion. So today we're going to be in Psalm 29, and it's saying my connection is weak, but it looks like there's somebody's on here, so I guess we'll just go ahead and go under. My neighbor, I think, is having some construction done over at his house, and so there may be some hammering and knocking that we may hear. Hopefully we can get through this before that all starts up. So let me just jump in and we will see where it takes us. So it says this, it says, Psalm 29, verse 1. It says, "Ascribe to the Lord, you heavenly beings. Ascribe to the Lord glory and strength. Ascribe to the Lord the glory due his name. Worship the Lord in the splendor of his holiness. The voice of the Lord is over the waters. The God of glory thunders. The Lord thunders over the mighty waters. The voice of the Lord is powerful. The voice of the Lord is majestic. The voice of the Lord breaks the cedars. The Lord breaks in pieces the cedars of Lebanon. He makes Lebanon leap like a calf, and Syrian like a young wild ox. The voice of the Lord strikes with flashes of lightning. The voice of the Lord shakes the desert. The Lord shakes the desert of Kadesh. The voice of the Lord twists the oaks and strips the forest bare. And in his temple all cry glory. The Lord sits enthroned over the flood. The Lord is enthroned as king forever. The Lord gives strength to his people, and the Lord blesses his people with peace." So this morning in this psalm, David is he is calling all of creation into worship. He says, "Ascribe to the Lord, all of you heavenly beings. Ascribe to the Lord glory and strength." He's at the beginning of the psalm. It's a call to worship, and he's calling them to worship. There's the cats. He's calling them to worship the one who is in power, who displays his power through creation, and he's calling them to worship the one who is positioned, enthroned over all of creation. The cats are playing again. So he's calling them to worship. Now the passage, the verse that really caught my attention this morning was verse 7, and I don't know why they choose to do this every time I do this video, but anyway, the verse that jumped out at me was verse 7. It says, "The voice of the Lord strikes with flashes of lightning." Now I don't know why the NIV translates it that way, but the New King James translates it like this. The New King James translates it as, "The voice of the Lord divides the flames of fire." Now, the reason that caught my attention is because in Acts 2, at the day of Pentecost, it says that the first followers of Jesus were hanging out. They were praying in the upper room. And it says that they were all together in one place, and suddenly there came from heaven a sound like a mighty rushing wind, and it filled the entire house where they were sitting. And divided tongues as of fire appeared to them and rested on each of them. And they were all filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak in other tongues as the Spirit gave them utterance. And so on the day of Pentecost, the voice of the Lord divides the flames of fire, like this psalm says, and then it rests on each of the first disciples. Essentially, the power that God has, because he's enthroned in a position of power, he then distributes it to Jesus' first followers, which means simply this: you and I have access to the power of heaven. And I think that's what this is what David's calling them to worship. We worship the one who is enthroned with power, and we have been given this power to operate in this world. And so regardless of what you're facing today, you have the power of heaven. When it comes to representing God in your world, to go and to represent him in your workspace and the places that you go, you've been empowered by God to do those things. And so that's just what caught my attention. It's his voice. The voice of the Lord divides the flames of fire, and then in the day of Pentecost, he distributes those flames to us. He empowers us. The cats. He empowers us to live it out. And so hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Sorry about the cats. I'm gonna have to lock them up or something. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. So anyway, today is Wednesday. It's Welcoming Wednesday. Be welcoming to somebody today, and just live a life that's caring towards others. And so hopefully you guys have a great day. Sorry for the distractions. We'll have to figure it out. Love you guys. Blessings. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.